What's up, my brother? How you doing, man?
Man, all blessings, family. What's good with you, man? You good?
Man, all praises be to the creator. We are good, man. We are good.
I got an amen to that two times, man. Amen, amen on that one, brother. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. So I know your Dallas Cowgirls gonna play in a few. So let's go ahead and get this out the way. Man, we had a wonderful night of boxing, man. I'm telling
Yeah,
you, it was lit.
yeah,
I loved every minute of it, man.
yeah,
This is what I'm talking about. I
yeah.
appreciate the fact that Boo Boo came in and fought someone. I mean, I know what you're gonna say, man. Already, everybody a bum unless they're in the top five of the division. But man, let me tell you, some of these guys, man, they have the capabilities, and they have the abilities to mess things up. Right, some of these guys do. I mean, maybe they can't beat some of these top welterweights, but they can make them look bad. For instance, when I saw Boots Ennis
Mhm.
fight a Karen, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what kind of Karen it was, but
His first name was Donna.
huh?
Donna.
I mean, I'm like, okay, this guy is moving a lot. He's moving around, and I know everybody say he's running, he's moving, he's mixing things up, he's confusing this monster that's in front of him, right? And then
That's
he's
what he was.
yeah, and then he's jabbing them, he's hitting them, he's putting hands on them too. You know what I mean? Now his hands aren't strong enough to do any damage. All
Mhm.
right. But if that was somebody like Keith one time, Thurman or Spence or something like that, man, it'd be lights out for Boots Ennis, in my opinion.
It'll be a bigger problem, that's for sure.
Yeah.
One
Yeah.
thing, one thing I would say, D, man, it's always great to see you, brother, man, because hey, hey, we're not promised today or tomorrow, so it's good to see you, brother. Real talk. Um, when it come down to last night, man, Boots, I give him an A on performance, A minus or whatever. Reason I say A minus because I think he should have stopped dude. Number one, number two, I think Boots was, he's so aggressive, man. He's so D. He just so he was headstrong on stopping this guy. And like you said, I like what you said. I think early in the text, we was going back and forth in the text earlier today. You know, I think it's a little careless. I think he was a little careless. Definitely think a little careless a little bit last night. But I understand his aggression. He's just like
Yeah.
you said. I love to say You said it. Excuse me. You said it best. Dude was a monster there last night. Boost was a monster there, man. The shots he was deep from the
Yeah.
first round. Check this out. From the first round, from 1 to 12, Boost was throwing He was throwing lasers and rockets and bombs and bricks for 12 straight rounds, bro. So I tip my hat to his conditioning, and his focus. I do like what you said when it come down to Thurman or Spence or Crawford. Mistakes can't be made like that.
Yeah.
Because sometimes he spun around. He's swinging so hard. He's spinning himself around, and next thing you know,
I
you
know.
turn around, you turn back into a big right hand.
I
You know,
know. I know. And a
uh,
more experienced fighter would have capitalized on that moment too. You know what I mean?
those facts,
You
those
can't
facts.
you can't be twirling and spinning around with one of these,
He did it
top
about four
guys.
times. He did it about four
Yeah.
times last.
Yeah, he did it a few times.
Mhm.
A lot of these guys, man, you look at their records, and this is one thing that I want us to, one day dive deeper into. Like when we look at how they build their resumes, you know what I mean? My problem with Spence, or Tank, or any of these guys, like Ennis, some of the fanatics, some of the fans like myself, but I think I'm a little bit more than a fan, just a little bit more than a fan, because
100%.
yeah, um,
Study the sport.
I think that a lot of these guys, man, they just put a whole bunch of cab drivers and grandmothers in front of these guys, build their resumes up, and then give them so much hype and say, well, this guy's going to beat the top welterweight in the division that's already beat a few champions or a few of the belt holders or what have you. I can't say that Ennis is going to beat any of these guys in the top because I haven't seen him fight a guy of their caliber yet, you know, of it, of like a Danny Garcia or a Porter. You know what I'm saying? Or Ugas or some of these guys that are at least, you know, if
Ortiz.
not, if I mean they're B plus fighters. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna give them the A status. You know, I would give Porter the A status. He was an A fighter. You know, at
Who?
one time, Porter. He had an A plus status. Because
A plus. I
he was
disagree.
undefeated. He was an undefeated champion.
Yeah.
Anybody's an undefeated champion, I got to give him an A plus, man. You know,
Okay.
because you're at the
Okay.
top. You know, Danny Garcia, undefeated champion. You know, at the time when they both met up with Keith Thurman, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he beat them. He took their candy. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm like, when you do something like that in the division, I got to give you props. That's why I still give Keith Thurman mad props. He barely lost to a legend.
And that's my biggest knock is, you know, your analogy, D, you know, I like it. And that's why it's funny. Your analogy is what I applied to Terrence Crawford's resume. I apply the same formula, and hear me when I say this. I never, man, listen, you got to be an idiot to question Terrence Crawford's ability, his given talent. But just like you just got through saying about inferior opponents, B and C level competition, I just think that applies with Thurman, and all you got to do is simply look at his resume. I think that speaks for itself.
You said Thurman's resume?
No, Crawford.
Oh, Crawford. Okay.
Your analogy, what you said, I like how you broke it down. And that's the only beef, not beef, maybe it's the wrong word, but that's the only criticism. That's the word I'm looking for. That's the criticism I applied to Crawford's resume, man, because not just myself, man, the boxing world that not pro Crawford, it says, man, this guy, you know, I mean, he don't mix it up with the top guys, man.
Yeah, but do you think that's because of Crawford, though? Is that really because
it doesn't matter, fam? It doesn't matter who's part of this. No,
it does matter. Okay. Can we admit this? Crawford is number 1 or 2 in the welterweight division.
I definitely say he ain't one.
He's either 1 or 2.
Okay, I'll give you that.
You know, he's either number 1 or number 2. Okay. How did he get there? Okay. He had to beat
fighting. He got there by fighting, feasting on guys that wasn't what you call a threat. D, you can't sit there and tell me.
Okay, but
you're a smart guy, bro. Dude, you can't sit there and tell me. Let me finish. You can't tell me a guy that with Terrence Crawford's talent. If you look at his resume, D, you can't tell me he been fighting beasts, bro. You cannot tell me that. He's not been fighting no beasts.
I'm not saying to you that he's fought more beasts than like a Spence or a Thurman. But okay. This is all.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
At his weight class, he had guys that were above him that he had to take out to get to that spot, right? So if you're telling me, hold on, let me finish. If you're telling me that he had to beat the bum who had the belt, then the bum wasn't a bum. He had to be, if he's a top guy, he got there some kind of way. You know, now
you're trying to persuade the hip fam.
Now,
we're very intelligent. You can't persuade me.
I'm not trying to persuade you to do anything. I'm asking you a question. Okay, who else would he have fought to get to where he is, to get to the number 1 or number 2 spot? Who else was there to fight?
At that particular time, you had to ask your question. I mean, Manny Pacquiao was there.
Manny Pacquiao was a 147, dude.
You asked me a question though, right?
Yeah, but you got to keep it at okay. He was what was Crawford? He was fighting at 140, right? Was it 140?
Mm-hmm. He been fighting welterweight now for what? How many years now?
I know, but he made his noise. Just like if Tank Davis decided, okay, I want to become a 147, okay, fighter. You know what I'm saying? He want to become a welterweight. Well, he's still Tank Davis. He still handled his business in his division. You know what I mean? Now he might be one of the best bottom guys. Well, no, you can't even say bottom. You can't even put Tank Davis at the bottom if he goes to welterweight. You can't put him at the bottom. He's still Tank Davis, okay? He's still going to get, okay, if he comes out and fight his first fight at welterweight, he ain't going to get no Spence Thurman. He ain't going to get no big name like that. He's going to get somebody that, okay, I want to get acclimated into the division. I want to test the water, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Okay, so all I'm saying, bro, is he beat everyone that they put in front of him. Okay, he doesn't control anything. I mean, Crawford might control things now when it comes to his own career, but the powers that be put the fighters in front of him. He got the belts. He became undisputed. He somehow became the number one or number two, welterweight in the division. Get a man his props.
I give him his props, Steve, but let me just piggyback off what you're saying. The guys, Terrence Crawford is 30-0, and really, honestly, I thought we was gonna concentrate more on last night, but since
me too, man. We just got off. Of one.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's what they call Fanatics. So here's the thing, man. Here's the thing about Crawford, and I'm gonna stand by this. And 38-0, man, it's not one guy. I'm listening to what you said, but you kind of curved your conversation. I asked you a direct question, and you kind of deviated.
Okay, go backwards.
Hear my question, though. Here's my question, fam. Right. Name a beast, and I'm not talking about a beast that Dubé thinks of. I'm talking about a worldwide, a world-recognized beast. In other words, a dog, a top 2-3 guy that's about that life in that boxing ring that's going to give Crawford some work. I mean, a guy that's decorated. You can't sit and tell me.
We're talking about welterweight, right?
I'm talking about welterweight. Then check it out. And not only am I talking about welterweight, I'm going to extend it a step further. When you start on his 140 resume, D, and work your way up to 145, D, it's a lot of guys, man. I mean, a lot of guys. When I say a lot of guys, D, in my opinion, I'm an old school effing fanatic just like you, D. I studied the sport. It's a lot of guys. I'm going to say his resume to me is 90, to me, Crawford's resume is 95% trash to me. That's just my opinion. I mean, Mike Tyson, who was the most electric, maybe the hardest hitting guy on earth, to me, he had a trash record when it come down to opponents. Opponents. I mean, to me, listen, I go back to Floyd Mayweather, man, who I got so much respect
Mike
for.
Tyson, who's fighting people who was 3 times bigger than he was.
Gotta let me finish my word.
I mean, okay.
Floyd said to be great, D, you're gonna have to mix it up with great competition, fam. Listen, you was a great, in my opinion, you was a great finance manager at Gannett Place Honda. D, in order to what? Weigh your skills as a finance manager, you had to have some dope finance manager around you. And I think you had that as well. But you always stepped above, you always stayed afloat to the top of the dealership when your numbers was always good, D. And I never counted your dollars because that's not my business. But I knew, D, you was one of those dudes in the finance office. When I was with you, you was in finance, I was in sales. Every year I was up the top in sales. Mm-hmm. If I was in the top in sales, every year I was there.
Right, exactly. Right.
And I was working around some hell of a
We always showed up at the same parties, man. We used to say, you know what I'm saying? You I look at you again, you look at me, you again. Yeah, man, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
I actually went there because every month, every week, every month, me and you was at the salesman of the month or employee of the month.
Yeah.
We was always at the same dinner. So God bless us with a certain talent, D.
Right.
Listen, the African-American brother, the king, Terrence Crawford, I respect the guy, man. I really do. It's just that, man, I don't respect his record. And nothing you can say, anybody else can say, can make me feel otherwise until he beat a Keith Thurman, or Earl Spence, Yugas, or Ortiz. Once you, Charlo, man, until you knock one of them guys down convincingly, you can't get my vote on you, that dude. Because Thurman, like you said, man, Thurman has fought some hell of a fighters.
Okay, you asked me a question, all right? Can I speak now? You asked me, you asked me, about the dogs that he's fought, right? And here again, you got to understand, he came up from 140, all right? Whatever the dogs, or let's say puppies, whatever puppies he beat at 140. Those were the puppies that showed up. Those were the puppies who had the belts. Those were the puppies who went around. Just like what you said about Tyson. I mean, damn, man, who else could Tyson have knocked down? He knocked down just about every friggin' giant, that I mean, who else would you have put in there besides?
One of the funniest things D, one of the funniest things I ever heard in my life. This is funny, D.
What?
Terrence Crawford's trainer. D, I ain't gonna never forget this. This is a good one.
Mm-hmm.
When he found out Terrence Crawford was fighting some guy that he never heard of, he said he had to Google this guy.
Of course, absolutely. And guess what? Spence fans had to Google Ocampo, okay?
Campo?
Yeah, we had to find. And guess what?
What about
people had to Google Hector's name too last night. When listen, people had to Google Hector's name too. And Hector, he's one of the biggest prospects. You didn't know Hector before he beat Colbert, before he the upset.
I probably would agree with you on that. I'm gonna probably agree with you on that, fam.
That was 2 fights ago, bro. Come on, man. Come on. That's all I'm saying, man. Just because you don't know this guy, David Avanesian was in the top 10 on the IBF or WBO, something like that. He was a top 10 or top 8, like on a couple of the on a couple of divisions. You know what I mean? So
you're wasting your valuable lungs, man. On
no. What I'm saying to you, bro, if you look at the top 10 welterweights, tell me who is number 7, 8, and 9, or tell me who's 6, 7, 8, and 9.
You know what's funny?
You don't know. I don't know either.
You know what's funny about Crawford to me though? When you listen to Crawford talk, only time he really kind of calls somebody out when they keep on putting the microphone in his face. When he put the mic on his face, hey man, yeah, because the only thing he's thinking about now, he talk about because Spence is on the plate. In other words, the world wants to see him and Spence fight, right? So he's almost forced to talk about Earl. Now he's started to talk about the junior middleweight champion, who I recognize as a dog, a beast. He want to fight the younger Charlo, the lighter Charlo, and I think that's going to be lights out for him. I really do. I don't see him doing nothing with Charlo. I think it's going to be a good fight because I don't disrespect Terrence Crawford's skills. I don't. Right. He got mass. But I just think going up against a guy like Charlo, Earl, I think, man, his day is going to be, he be done. And Keith Thurman right now, I think Keith Thurman would give, listen, I don't care what nobody said, like you said. Thurman, I call him part-time Thurman instead of one-time Thurman, man, but the guy has massive punching power. Listen, real quick. Let's switch for last night. Just real quick. Mm-hmm. I'm changing the host role.
I know, man. We're fanatics, so we go all over the place. Let's just do it, man. There's no format. This is our shit. Let's go.
Respect. Tank, man. D, let me tell you something, man. He's a special guy, man. D, he's special. I'm gonna tell you what makes him special. What makes Tank special besides that God-given talent? The guy, he got bombs in both gloves. Bombs in both gloves. Number 2, D, he got mad. He got that, my bad. He got that street. He got that street mentality inside the ring. In other words, I'm going to get at you. But D, also, he shows now patience, timing. And then he's thinking inside the ring. D, last night, the guy was sitting on the stool worried about, I think, where his mama was sitting at. D, where's my mama sitting at? Then also he worried about some guys started fighting in the audience. He want to know who was fighting and is everybody okay? D, he's the host of the show. He's a fighter of the show. He's a star of the show. But D, that's why I'm talking about, hey man, his focus. D, he can multitask. Because when they said time out for the fights that was in the stands, ringside, people got into it. They had about a 5-minute delay. The next thing you know, D, he went back to work. To work. What I love about Tank, he's tied for my favorite fighter right now on earth, him and Earl Spence. D, he's the real deal. I mean, he's box office. He's a star. He's bringing, he's galvanizing people that don't even really follow boxing, right?
Right.
He's galvanizing of the sport. He's bringing people into the sport. So last night showed me, you said your boy was slow. D, I thought your boy I thought he's a very good fighter. I mean, I thought Hector Garcia was a damn good fighter. D, next thing you know, once he was touching Tank. Everybody touches Tank. Tank don't mind getting touched. Tank got a nice touch.
Yeah, but Tank, listen, Tank don't mind getting touched. Tank don't want to get touched. And Tank getting touched a little too much for my comfort. I mean, I love Tank, man. I think Tank Davis is a beast. The little guy, man, you gotta love him, man. I'm sorry, you just have to. And whenever I say something, like you know, Tank. When I say Tank Davis hasn't fought that elite Devin Haney, Shakur Stevens, I'll even put Teofimo Lopez in the mix because he was up there as one of the elite names. I can take Shakur Stevenson's name off the list for a second because I like to deal with, you know, because I don't think it's Shakur's time. You know what I'm saying? But definitely Devin Haney's time. Definitely a Teofimo Lopez. That would be a good fight to make. You know what I'm saying?
Lomachenko.
Yeah. Lomachenko would be a bit, but he hasn't fought any of those guys. He hasn't fought Devin Haney. He hasn't fought any of those guys. So, you know, even though I see Tank doing devastating things, you know, I just love the athleticism, the ability he has, you know, the way he puts his punches together. I love that, man. But when you're doing that against a B-level fighter versus doing that against an A-level fighter, I kind of take a little bit of the hype off of it because you're supposed to do those things to this fighter. You know what I mean? They've been saying exactly what they were going to do to Hector because they knew what they were going to do to Hector. You know what I mean? They knew what they were going to do. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, I like going into fight. I like going into or I would say the best fights to me are the ones where the odds, they don't know which way it can go, or it's very, very close.
Flowing. It's flowing. It's flowing.
It's
But you
very,
know
very
what?
close, you know?
The trainers of Tank, man, was it Calvin Ford and his crew, his team, his team don't feel like it's a man out there that's 130, 135, or 140 can deal with Tank. I don't think it's nobody truly, in his camp, in his circle, that think he's smoking hot. And remember the interview last night, fam? I heard something was very profound. It was on point. I think it was it who interviewed him last night? Was it Jim Gray? One of them guys. I think it was Jim. Was it Jim Gray? Word on the street is in Tank's camp, only way Tank gets beat anytime soon, if Tank beats Tank.
Yeah.
And I'm on board with that right now. If Tank he got that long gym, he got that long training camp, he's focused. He let these distractions. You got to give the guy credit. He manned up last night and said, "Hey man, listen, I got to get a little bit closer to my crew, to the people who loves me the most." He ain't calling nobody out. He ain't throwing no shots at anybody. He just got to tighten up his circle so he don't squeeze out. They don't let him out into the BS because the real world can be a little tricky when you wander off.
Yeah, and we both said that a couple episodes ago, man. We said that. You know, 100%. That Tank needs a team. You know what I mean? His team that got to get right. But yeah, man. I mean, here again, I love the guy. You know, at this point, I'm gonna say, you know, his next few fights, you know what I mean, is going to define whether Tank Davis is ready for that. Because you know, I think people are trying to put him like on the Floyd level or close to it. And I'm sorry, that's so disrespectful because Floyd fought so many champions and beat them. And Floyd, you know, when Floyd fought Maidana, you know what I'm saying? When he fought Maidana, you know, some people, you know, the first time, of course, some people thought he lost. You know what I mean? I mean, of course, I didn't because, you know, I saw the fight with my own eyes. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
But second fight, he beat him, you know, but it was a tough competitive fight where the dude at least had an opportunity. He definitely had an opportunity to win the fight.
He had a lot of power.
Had a lot of power, you know what I mean? And that's where I say speed. If you got the right speed and you got the right skill, that power ain't gonna mean nothing, you know, because you're able to take some of that power away, you know. And if you get caught slipping, yeah, but these people at the top, Devin Haney don't get caught slipping like that. You know what I mean? And if he gets caught slipping, he doesn't get caught slipping 100%. He might get caught slipping 60%. You know what I mean?
I don't have nobody, fam, and it's real talk. I don't have nobody giving Tank an L if Tank coming there 100% focused. Last night, you got to give Tank some credit. I mean, I'm not saying you haven't. Tank gets an A+ from me last night. He gets an A+.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not.
Me too.
The touching part, you follow boxing closely. You're gonna get touched, especially if you find a guy across from you that has skills. Hector has skills. He has skills. Now it's all about maybe levels. Yeah, it's levels.
But does Hector have Devin Haney's or Shakur Stevens skills?
No, sir. No, sir.
Nowhere
No,
near,
sir.
right? So do you think that if one of those guys was touching Tank Davis like that, do you think Tank it would have ended up in a knockout as well?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you asked me a
Those
question.
boys too smart. Those boys too clever for that, man.
No, but still, D, you asked me a question. You know, I'm glad you asked the question, because one thing about Tank D, he can change a fight at any second, any time. Anybody
that got some power can do that, you know?
No, but see, it's different. D, here's what I'm saying though, fam. You gotta understand, you gotta hear me out. It's levels to power, D. It's levels to power, family. Tank got power to the extreme level. D, I can have, hear me out on this, fam. D, you might have, to me, I might have good power. But D, you're a bigger, stronger man than me, so your power could be even higher. D, power, you could be medium, small guy, big guy. He just have God-given talent in them hands. And I'm not saying Shakur got, I think, got good power. I don't think he have elite power like Tank. Absolutely not. And definitely not Haney. He don't have elite power. Tank has elite power, D, that can change. Tank could be losing all 9, 10 rounds. Mm-hmm. But in that 11th round, D, you had your hands down for that split second, and I cracked you. Your boy said last night, and he was fighting a hell of a fight. D, Hector was fighting a good fight. Yeah. D, next thing you know, all of a sudden, Tank, like a manual transmission, he shifted gear. Next thing you know, your boy said, I don't even know, I can't see, I don't even know where I'm at.
Yeah. Yeah, the judges definitely had the scorecard wrong. I mean, because I had Hector, it was either a tie. It was either a tie at that point, or Hector was up a little bit.
I thought Tank was, I like you said, I like the tie part, D. I might say a tie or Tank was handed, because that Tank came on. He came on strong those last, I think the last 3 or 4 rounds. He started to assert himself, if you go back and check out the tape. Yeah. And I just, when he cut on the gas, D, all of that I want to know from you, I mean, who can handle that kind of pressure and power at the same time? And think about it, you talking about fast hands of Ryan Garcia. I'm not saying Tank's hands is faster than Ryan's. I'm not saying that. But he don't have no slow hands either. And he got a truckload.
Yeah, Ryan, the reason I say what I say about Ryan is this, you know, and here again, I never thought Ryan was a serious fighter until probably more recently. Been checking him out, man. Ryan is very, very fast. Ryan is very, very fast. When Ryan can take a punch, I mean, when a man gets hit like he got hit, you know, and gets up and then knocks his opponent out, you know what I mean? Come on, man. You know, I would rather see. I don't care if Spence, Sturm, whoever. I don't care if they get knocked down 4 or 5 times. Man, if they come back and they're competitive and they win the fight, they got my props, man. They're mad props. I love seeing that. You know what I mean? You know? So I think Ryan is going to make it very difficult for Tank because of his size, his speed, and his power. You know what I mean?
But I think the clips, though, the clips that you've been watching, D, of Ryan Garcia, D, it's been a lot of fluff to it. And here's what I'm saying. It's been a lot of smoke to it.
No, I'm talking about the fights. I watch the fights.
Been around lately, basically in the gym and talking, and you know, with a suit on, and you know, he's at Sugar Ray Leonard's house showing how fast his hands is, hitting the air and stuff like that. Last time he was in a competitive fight, I think, if I ain't lying, I remember was it Campbell fight? I mean, what was his last? Was it Campbell? Campbell dropped him, and he got back up and won the fight.
No, wait a minute, I forgot who Ryan. His last fight was with, what's his name? Stuff with F.
Nobody.
The Spanish guy. No, the guy, he's pretty good.
D, like you said, man, he wouldn't fight no A-level fighter, bro. He's going to fight one now, though.
I mean, you know, can we say that? Hold on, Ryan Garcia, his last fight was Fortuna, Javier Fortuna.
Okay, now he was a good fighter.
Yeah, Javier Fortuna is a good fighter.
He's a good fighter. I wouldn't say he's an A-level fighter though. He's a good fighter.
He's damn sure a B+. He's damn sure a B+. Okay. I would say. I mean, he's lost 3 fights.
the guy you just got through saying the Ryan, the Shakurs, the Devin Haney's, the Tanks, you know, those A-level guys, man. So here's what I'm saying. Ryan, listen, one thing about Ryan, keep in mind, he's been trained by De La Hoya when it come down to the negotiating, the marketing. De La Hoya did a great job of marketing Ryan Garcia, a pretty boy type, you know, with the good hair and stuff like that. Well, he better have some good gel, D, in that hair come in April. That gel better be pretty thick because he's gonna get cracked. I mean, listen, all these fast hands, yeah, D, I like all that. That's cool, D. But can you take Tank's punch?
That's the question. You know what? Listen, man, you know what I always say. I don't ever bet against Tank, okay? I root for Tank. I don't ever bet against him. You know what I'm saying? All I know is this. Some of these guys, like, I would say, I would think Tank will have to knock out Ryan Garcia in order to win. I don't think he's going to be able to. I don't think he's going to outbox him.
Well, I say this. I'm going to say this to add to what you're saying. I don't think, first of all, Ryan couldn't take 12 rounds of punishment from Tank. So you're right. D, listen, and I hate to sound like a broken record, D. Yeah. Tank's power, ask them 28 guys.
We know about Tank's power, but man, speed kills power. Speed kills power. And once you listen, here again, I can fight 25, 26 grandmothers and win. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but when I step up to the elite, you know, that's what I measure these guys. What do you do when somebody's standing right across from you that can move like you move or better?
Like you, I love you. Listen, then you know that in a fight, D, when you got two guys in the ring, like you said, it can be two bums. Somebody gonna win. So anybody can win with the right, like you said, a good shot with the right shot. It's just Tank, man. I just think Tank gonna have to beat Tank. I don't see nobody beating Tank right now unless Tank just out. You know, he's got his mind on his ex-girl, his baby's mother, or some drama or some beef, or he got himself. In other words, he's not in line with what he's supposed to be doing. If he's in line with the boxing game, D, good luck on that, bro.
Yeah.
But, I'm going to take care of wife had surgery, man. You know, obviously, you know.
Man, you get ready to watch your Cowboys lose, so I get it, man.
No. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna make sure she's and I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna start. I'm gonna get back to aiding her, man. But you know, I love that background, though, fam. I love that background.
Okay, cool. Yeah, man. Well, take care, wifey, man. You know, we got what's the next fight coming up? Well, I know.
What's the question?
Is Spence fighting in April?
Any Broner?
Oh God, man. I mean, yeah, okay, yeah, Broner fighting.
I think it's Broner and hashtag whatever his name.
Yeah,
is.
Red Bull.
Red Bull.
Tank's fighting the Red Bull.
Hey man, good luck.
I mean, not Tank, but Broner.
Yeah.
I hope Broner beat the Red Bull, man, because I mean.
Well, hell, he ain't had a win, man, since we used at Honda. So I don't know. It's been
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hey, man, so all love, man. You know, we're gonna talk soon, man. Just let me know.
All right, bro. Let's do it.
Peace, man.
Peace, brother.